How's it going, everyone? Today, fun fact, is the hottest recorded day in the UK ever, I think. Which is like, for us, like 35, 36, 37, 38 roughly degrees. Something along them lines. In the room that I'm in right now that I used to record, I have to shut my windows. And basically, every second I'm in here, I'm melting. So, let's get this goddamn review done and dusted, shall we? So, this episode of Yu-Gi-Oh! VRAINS was the conclusion of the duel between Zaizen, and Blue Maiden. This duel boiled down to something that I said, which I actually quite liked. It was a duel between someone that had nothing to lose versus someone that had something to protect and who would come out on top. And typically, from every other anime you've ever watched and just from the Yu-Gi-Oh! Series in general, it would usually be the person that is trying to protect something that would normally win. But in this case, I won. And I'll talk about the conclusion to the duel at the end. I was dissatisfied, basically, with how it ended. I knew it would end like this, but the way it ended I wasn't totally satisfied with. But everything that went on in the duel I did like, so let's talk about that first. First things first, Pandor reads that I has no ill will towards any of them. Which, of course, we've had this mentioned quite a few times. It reinforces the fact that there is an ulterior motive going on with I. His goal at the moment, that is all we know, is he's trying to get revenge for the AIs that lost their lives and the humans that didn't have to sacrifice anything, apart from the people that obviously were part of the lost incident, which is still punishing anyway. So that bit's really confusing. However, we know what he wants to do with Soul Technologies, because after the events of this episode, he now has control of it. He wants to treat it like the plane. He wants to take control of it, and if he chooses to, just crash it. So I think he's trying to systematically shut down Soul Technologies, maybe make Soul Technologies look like really bad in the eyes of the public, so the public turn against them. I don't know, I'm curious to see what his goals are there. We get in this episode the reveal of I's newest attributed monster that is a representation of the other AIs. This one was Water something, what was it called? Water Leviathan at Ignista. Which looked really cool. I really liked it, and I liked the fact that it had Leviathan in its name, which was awesome. However, its effects, I noticed it seems to be tailor-made to go against Yusaku for this reason, because its ability was if something had, well, I'll write it down here, if it has 2,300 attack or lower, it is able to bounce the monster back to the hand, I think was its ability. And of course, we know that I is building up to play against Playmaker. And we know that Playmaker plays Decode Talker, which happens to have exactly 2,300 attack. I'd probably need to look at the ability online. Maybe it's a little bit different, but yeah, that'll be probably used later in the series to bounce Playmaker's Decode Talker back to his hands. So I'm just going to call that right now. That will definitely happen in the future. But I liked how this monster was a ritual monster. I was expecting it to be a link monster, if I'm being completely honest with you. But so far, I think, what has I got out? He's got out a link monster, a fusion monster, and a ritual monster so far. It's just we need to see a synchro and Xyz still, I think. And a Link 5 probably a little bit later. I imagine he does have one. So in this duel, Zaizen shied in the last episode. It was kind of his duel back then because he was able to get out his ace monster. He was able to apologize to I for the things that's happened to him. In this episode, he was about to be defeated, but then he was saved by Blue Maiden. Then Blue Maiden got out her ace monster, whose name I'm about to completely butcher because I forgot the first word and my spelling is atrocious here. Something Bubble Reef. Nogged. No, look at this. What is that word there? What is that? But it's a Marincess Link 4 monster, and what this monster represents is Blue Maiden finally becoming... Well, she explains it, doesn't she? She says that for her entire life, her brother's been looking out for her, and he's been trying to keep her from the VRAINS world to keep her safe. And she's sort of gone against his wishes, and she finally rose to the point where now she's able to duel alongside him as his equal. And even so now, she's surpassed him, and she's now protecting him herself. So it's a really nice moment. This is brotherly, sisterly bond that they have together, which is something that I was really looking forward to seeing, which makes me curious as what he wanted, because I feel like he's trying to see more of humanity for us. He's like, show me more of this brotherly bond, see if it can triumph against me, which unfortunately it didn't, but it was an epic play. And obviously it's a shame, but she loses regardless, which... I don't know, I don't feel like Blue Maiden has won that many duels. Same with Ghost Girl. They just don't seem to do well. But regardless of that though, I does do what he said he was going to do, and he digitizes Zyzen, but he doesn't do it to Blue Maiden. She's shocked at this, and so is Roboppy. Roboppy says, "Are you being generous or something?" And he's like, "No, I just I want you to suffer just like I've suffered. You've lost someone you love just like how I have, so that's what you're going to go through now." But it didn't look like he had any ill intention with that one. It kind of just looked like he didn't want to do that to her because he's got a friendship with her. After that as well, Yusaku calls out to Ai as he's walking away. Ai turns round. Yusaku has nothing to say to him because I think he's just shocked at what's happening. And Ai doesn't say anything too back, so I'm getting really hyped for these two to have a proper conversation and a proper duel because everything's just like, they don't need to say anything to each other at the moment, so I like that sort of dynamic they have. They're like so close as friends before, and then it's now they don't really need to talk too much to each other. They're just so... Yeah, I like what they're two doing. Soulburner, obviously, is very emotional. He, like, kicks off a little bit. And Revolver, I think, has a great line where he's like, "It's fine. Don't worry about it, Soulburner. Because now I know he's crossed the line, and I can destroy him now without any hesitation." So Revolver plans to destroy him. So I'm really curious to see where that goes. Now, why did I say at the start of this review I found the end of the duel anticlimactic? Well, it was because Blue Maiden lost because of a random card. And I don't know, this has probably been throughout the entire Yu-Gi-Oh series, but every now and then I notice it and it bugs me. It's when someone activates a card that's never been established before, but it is very specific to the situation they're in, and it basically wins them the duel. For example, in this situation, it was like, oh god, I don't think I wrote it down, but due to the fact that he bounced the card, or something was attacking directly, or he took damage, and it's the same turn, he was able to deal the damage back. However he won, I've completely forgot what it was now. But it was just a trap card that was specific to that situation that we'd never seen before. I liked the artwork on it. It had a cool little funny name, I think. It was called like Phi or something. But I don't like that in Yu-Gi-Oh! I like strategies. I would love if... I know we have a new Yu-Gi-Oh! Series coming out soon. They've revealed there's going to be a new Yu-Gi-Oh! Series 7, which... God knows what they're going to do with that. I'm really curious. I'll have to make a video when they start releasing some sort of information about that. But imagine at the start of that series, the main character puts out his deck all in front of him like this for everyone to see. And he like sort of goes through little bits and pieces of what all the cards do. But you've seen them all, so you can like look up what they do online. And you know for a fact that he has all those cards in his deck. Whereas when you watch people like this, it's more so with bad guys, because part of the charm of that is that you don't know what bad guys' cards can do. So they just activate cards and you have no idea. But that's just like a little gripe I have with the Yu-Gi-Oh! Series in general, but I found it quite noticeable in this one. And I am honestly melting in this video right now. I don't know how Soulburner can be themed after fire and just not be hot all the time. This is incredible. Is there anything else I want to say? Yeah, I own Soul Technologies now. He's going to run that into the ground, most likely. Yeah, Revolver versus Shrimp. Yes, that's everything I've done. We're done. It's hot. Enjoy the weather. Wear sunscreen. Drink water. Have fun. But other than that, let me know what you thought in the comment section below. Don't forget to leave a video a like. And other than that, though, guys, thank you for watching. See you later. For reference, right, I've just been recording this video, right, and I'm wearing shorts. But look what my legs have just done to this chair from sweat. Sacrifices I beg for you guys.